Hi, my name is Miss C. Thanks for joining. Today's video is urging you on the importance of gathering food. I'm showing you again clips from Ice Age Farmer, who has done extensive research on how the farm workers are walking off the job. And it is by design. And I just don't want to stick my head in the sand and act like nothing is going on. I feel like at this point that I'm pulling teeth, trying to let people know that this is real. I just want to let you know that as of today, August 31st, this is not happening tomorrow. This is happening today, August 31st, that farm workers are walking off the job. I'm just gonna play this clip and go to the Ice Age Farmers website and YouTube channel and support him because he deserves all the support he can get. He's bringing good information, and hey, in a minute no food is going to be available, so we need to pay attention. Just pay attention because the mainstream is not telling us this.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's happening. California has started ordering meat plants to again shut down. Migrant workers are walking off of the job across Michigan due to the new mandatory COVID-19 testing there that went into effect this week. With meat plants shutting down and farms without harvest labor, we are looking at the engineered shutdown of the U.S. food production system. And a lot of this is happening globally. Let's talk about it. I'm Christian, and this is the Ice Age Farmer broadcast.
Following a state emergency order requiring baseline COVID-19 testing for certain agriculture workers in Michigan, a number of seasonal and migrant laborers at several Michigan operations did not come back into work this week.
And they're pulling out of the state and they're just leaving because they don't want to be a part of this. That's the big concern. I mean, of course, it's affecting all of us.
It's difficult because I'm down personnel.
And Merced County this week ordered Foster Farms processing plant in California to be shut down due to COVID-19 outbreak there. We read, quote, "The Merced County Health Department ordered the Foster Farms Livingston facility to shut down over the largest and most severe COVID-19 outbreak in Merced County. At least 358 employees have tested positive, according to their letter. Quote, Foster Farms poultry operation in Livingston has experienced an alarming spread of COVID-19 among the workers. Nobody can ignore the facts. It's time to hit the reset button on Foster Farms Livingston plant." When he says we're hitting the reset button on our meat packing factories here in California, that is a tip of the hat to the folks, the globalists at the World Economic Forum and their great reset, the blitzkrieg of totalitarian agendas that have been in the works for decades now but are all launching forward right now given the pandemic. That is a wink of the eye to the Rockefellers over at the Rockefeller Foundation and their new Reset the Table plan that describes a complete reformatting and technocratic takeover and no free market of the U.S. food system here throughout. This echoes the EU farm to fork policy and the same around the world at this point. But now, a similar story is playing out in Michigan, where Whitmer, as of Monday, had instituted mandatory COVID-19 testing for all migrant farm workers, which is already pretty sketchy. It's very divisive because that means, as we'll read down here, that only Latinos have to take the tests. There are Americans who don't because they're not considered migrant farm workers. Boy, if we can just inject racism and all these other concepts in there, just muddy the waters as much as we want, maybe no one will notice that we're shutting down the food supply. From Michigan Farm News, quote, "Dozens of Michigan farm workers are leaving unpicked fields and orchards. They say it's driven by the state's new emergency order requiring mandatory testing for COVID-19. We hear from some blueberry farms like True Blueberry Management, who lost 150 employees that just left to go work in states where they didn't have mandatory COVID-19 testing. In Bangor, another story, 14 employees left a heritage blueberry farm there. In fact, it's so widespread, quote, everyone is affected, according to Manuel Morales, who went on to say, they don't want to do the test. I don't want to do the test. I was in Florida earlier in this year. We didn't have to do the test. Why do we have to in Michigan? Well, because of Whitmer. Because she wants us to, and it's only Latinos. Why? I work with American people. They're not getting tested. You see how ridiculous this is? What kind of just so divisive. Of course, there has been an appeal, and then a higher court has already overturned that appeal, meaning that they are keeping this mandatory testing of farm workers there. There are many advocacy groups I went through in my last video, and I gave you advice. Just go to a search engine and check your state and then farm worker COVID-19 protections, and you will probably see that there are advocacy groups working to institute mandatory COVID-19 tests to protect the farm workers. Only now that it's happening, and now that the farm workers are leaving when that happens, we can tell that's not what they want. They're telling us, we don't want testing. We're leaving because of the testing. So this whole pretense is now shot. It's dead in the water. And we can tell that what's going on here is a shutdown of our food supply. This has nothing to do with protecting farm workers from COVID-19. This has to do with shutting down the meat plants in California, hitting the reset button on our food supply. It's stunning. It's just stunning. What do they expect us to eat when they shut down the meat plants and close the farms? Are we supposed to eat air?